Hey guys, Venruki here, and as promised, I wanted to bring you a Windwalker 101 guide for patch 6.1. I get a lot of questions in my stream, and I wanted to just have a place where I could give you a clear, concise answer for a lot of the concerns and questions you guys had. So without further ado, let's get into it. First question we have is by HeyYJK, and he says, "Hey, what comps that you faced do you consider taking Hurricane Strikes over Chi Explosion?" And I think high-rated monks play both Hurricane Strikes and Chi Explosion. I don't think there's one that is just better than the other. For me, the way I decide is games where I want to do more spread pressure and I am getting attacked, I like to have the Chi Explosion because you can build stacks very, very fast using it. Because if you use 3+ Chi, you get an additional charge of Tiger Eye Brew. So you can build Tiger Eye Brew incredibly fast using this build. Plus the AoE damage and the range attack is very, very nice. But that being said, Hurricane Strike is also incredibly strong, and if you're doing more one-shot strats where you're trying to immediately burst someone down, you can do an unbelievable amount of damage with Hurricane Strike on classes like Resto Druid. Like this. Second question we have is by Rob Panini, and he says, "How do you use Chi Torpedo in place?" The way you do this is by pressing your Chi Torpedo and then immediately jumping after. So Chi Torpedo and then jump. Chi Torpedo and then jump. Very, very straightforward. Just 2 buttons. Third question we have is by Josh, and Josh says, "As I said in stream, I'm not entirely sure on the main strat, and I'm not sure about when to use Earth, Wind, and Fire." I think Josh means Storm, Earth, and Fire, and a lot of the time I'm using Storm, Earth, and Fire is to spread my MS and damage on multiple targets. So when you're playing with a DK or a Warlock, it can be incredibly good to do. If you're on a healer, you can spread it to a DPS, and as you can see, my image copies my damage, and it actually does a significant amount of damage. And say my DK was on this Resto Druid right now, they would be in a lot of trouble, and at the same time, I'm also pressuring a DPS. So it's a huge damage increase overall if you are using your images. It's just not particularly useful if you're going to convene on one target, but you can rot down a team very easily this way, and it's good in both of the main Windwalker comps, Windwalker Lock Shaman and DK Windwalker Paladin. So just play around with it. And I recommend using a Focus Storm, Earth, and Fire macro. Fourth question we have is by Ya, and Ya asks, "Are there any viable comps for Windwalker other than DK Windwalker X?" Yes, there is. Windwalkers work very well with a Warlock, spreading your Storm, Earth, and Fire, having your MS or your Rising Sun Kick on multiple targets creates a lot of pressure, and yeah, it's a very good comp, but those are the only 2 comps that I know of that work reasonably well right now. Fifth question is by Ducky Lou Who, and they ask, "Is it worth using brew stacks before 10, or is it more beneficial to wait?" It is more beneficial to wait, but sometimes it is worth it to use lower stacks. If you find yourself in a position where you can get a really good swap and you don't have your 10 stacks, it can still be worth it. If like you have a trinket proc, you don't lose that much damage. Obviously it's more ideal to use higher stacks when you're doing any sort of swap or burst, but there are situations you'll find yourself in where your teammates have an opportunity to do a lot of damage and you have an opportunity to do a lot of damage, and you're not always going to have a 10 stack, and that's okay to pop like a 6 or a 7 stack, but it's more ideal to pop a 10, like I said. Another question I get asked a lot is about the two-handed weapon versus one-handed weapons, and ultimately it doesn't matter that much. You can use either and still do well. If you really, really care about min-maxing, I think the two-handed weapon is slightly more damage, maybe like 0.5% or 1%, but if you think swinging the one-handed weapons is a lot more cool, or you like having them on your back, it doesn't matter that much, and you can do well with both, and Windwalkers do well with both. So you don't need one either way. But if you absolutely care about min-maxing, you can use the two-handed weapon. One more question, last but not least, is why do you use Chi Burst? And Chi Burst and Chi Wave are both viable options. The reason I like Chi Burst is because the healing you get out of Chi Wave isn't actually that great, and Chi Wave can also randomly break in caps, which isn't ideal. Chi Burst also provides a great burst of damage, especially when you don't have Chi available or energy. So when you don't have energy to Rising, or you don't have Chi to Rising Sun Kick or energy to jab and Blackout Kick, it's really nice to be able to use Chi Torpedo and your Chi Burst with your stacks to do incredible amounts of damage. Even a simple combo like this, where you Chi Burst, Chi Torpedo, can be an infinite amount of damage. That's going to do it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any additional questions, feel free to post in the comment sections. And if you guys enjoyed the video, consider liking the video. Until next time, guys, peace!